Welcome, football beer. That's why we're here, fans. It is going into week 5 in of the NFL, and Dave and I are here to break it all down, talk a little bit of football about or what happened last week, what we liked, what we didn't like, and get our picks in for week 5 of the NFL. And it is the first week of some of bye games, so there won't be as many games this weekend, but still a full plate of fun stuff to watch. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you again. See you got your schematics up there in the background of the, game-winning play. I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, appropriate background for football beer. That's why we're here. Drawing it up. Looks like everyone's on go routes. So let's just throw it up and get six.
There we go. Um, hey, if you are watching us for the first time, you can see us here on Facebook, or if you're watching us on YouTube over there. And I think I got a third channel I'm going to throw in next week for the first time over on Rumble. It looks like they have quite the sports category over there. So I'm going to work on getting that set up, and maybe we can get a few more viewers over there. Hey, so we wouldn't be football beer without the beer. And so I kind of going with, hey, it's October and Oktoberfest, but I'm looking at the other towards the end of October and Halloween, and I've got a beer here from Paperback Brewing. I gotta kind of turn this and get in front of my face there, and it's called Bunny with a Chainsaw. And Paperback Brewing gotta get in front of my face, out of Glendale, California, actually. And it is I think a double hop dry IPA, double dry hopped hazy IPA. I got a 4 pack of 16-ounce cans, and it actually has an 8.2 ABV on there. But yeah, so got a cute little bunny there, but he's rocking the chainsaw for Halloween. And yeah, it is definitely a nice hazy IPA there. So yeah, cheers. What you got on tap tonight, Dave?
So I was also gonna go October festy, fall themed into the start of October, but I kind of went themed. So I went themed instead a different way. The first game where we're going to talk about, the Thursday night game tomorrow. I got this Distill Brewery Peach Wheat. And Distill Brewery is in Illinois, home of the Bears, the Chicago Bears. And we all know what a peach emoji means, right? When you use a peach emoji, that's a butt. It's a butt, and that's exactly what the Bears are playing like so far this year is butt. And it's a nice light beer for a light team in the Bears right now. My Zoom background, but it's very, very light, very pale, very, 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 very pale in the face, like all the Bears players coming off of these last few losses.
Oh, it's it's a tough year to be a Bears fan. I mean, it usually is, but it's especially tough this year. Hey, if you're watching the show right now, go ahead and check in the comments. We'll say hi. If you've got anything to say throughout the show, you got a pick, got something to say about what we're talking about, telling us we're off our rockers, go ahead and put it in the comments. Would love to hear from you and have you be a part of the show tonight. Well, a lot happened last week, and before we get into our picks of this week, and I got to tell you, I just took the first drink of this. I really like this. This is
Nice.
I mean, I'm not a huge IPA person, and this is actually quite smooth. I thought, with this I thought it was going to be, it's a double dry hopped, and I thought it was going to have a much hoppier taste, but it's really quite smooth. This is nice. And yeah, anyway,
Bunny
where are
with a
we at? So
chainsaw.
hey, so we have Kim joining us. Thanks, Kim. I'm glad you're back and joining the show this week. It's always great to have you here. Jim, always nice to have you as a part of the show as usual. One of our faithful viewers, Jim and Cindy. And so definitely thanks for joining us tonight. I get rid of that. And yeah, so just kind of taking a minute to look back at last week. What was your game of the week last week?
Game of the week for me was Philly having to come
I think
down
I
at the
lost
end
your
of
audio.
overtime. Huh? You here? You got me?
Oh no, that was Siri that woke up.
Oh, Siri woke up.
I gotta turn that off on my Mac.
I got the Eagles winning with overtime field goal against the Commanders. I didn't think that game would be that close. Commanders really played well, although they got the loss. But yeah, just I mean, under 4 minutes left in overtime, and the Eagles need a field goal to win. So I didn't see that game coming out like that. So that was my game of the week.
Yeah, that was a good game. I actually chose the Thursday night game last week, the Lions and the Packers. I really thought of all the games of the week, I thought it was a somewhat competitive. I mean, well, really, I mean, I guess the Lions scored 27, outscored them 27-3 in the first half, but it was still kind of, you know, the Packers tried to make a comeback, couldn't do it. I just like to see that I've kind of on this bandwagon with Dan Campbell and the Lions this year, I think, and so I just thought that was a strong win on the road for the Lions, and the Packers were not happy there at Lambeau. So yeah, for me it was definitely the Lions Packers game. Alrighty, how about your offensive player of the week?
Man, there was a lot of people to pick from. I had a handful of guys that could have got this. I'm going to go tandem though. I've went tandem in earlier shows with Miami. This week it's against Miami. So I have Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs. Allen threw for 4 touchdowns, and Diggs caught 3 of them. And just big, huge win for the Bills, crushing the Dolphins. So they're now tied in that AFC East at 3-1, both of them. And the Bills really, I think, needed a big confidence game like that, showing who they are against a good Miami team, and just crushed them. And those two definitely did everything they could to make it happen. So those are my players of the week for offense.
Yeah, I picked somebody that, it's just somebody that's probably not going to get, a lot of love on any media outlet for, offensive player of the week very often. So I thought I'd just throw a little love out to, CJ Stroud from the Texans this week. Threw for over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns. His passing completion wasn't great, 16 out of 30, not great at all. But, they 300 yards and, again, somebody's probably not going to get a lot of love as a player of the week, amongst around the circle in the media. So thought I'd just throw him out there this week, and may never mention his name again. Well, I can say that we actually both picked the same defensive player of the week, and that's Khalil Mack from the Chargers. Guy just blew it up, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he wasn't the pick. He had 6 sacks against his former team, the Raiders, which he really needed. I mean, he was such a force like a handful of years ago, and then he had some injuries, and he just hasn't looked like that dominant guy that everyone thought he was going to be a few years ago. But he was last Sunday. Six sacks in one game. You don't see that very often, and so that was pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's the only other guy I even had. I think there was a guy from Detroit, a defensive back that had 2 interceptions. So getting 2 interceptions in the game is really hard to do. But 6 sacks is, I mean, you don't see that. You see 3 sometimes by one guy. So to double that is pretty special day.
Yeah, and it's good for them. Obviously, the Chargers they need to have that kind of defensive showing, especially if they're in a tough offensive shootout or something. A defense needs to step up. And realistically, the Chargers defense should be one of the top defenses. They've put a lot of money into their defense, and but yeah, Kim's right. Khalil Mack is a beast, and he's at least showed it this week. So yeah, good on him. All right, man. So we also like to each week talk a little bit about who is in our coaching hot seat. And we start this in week one. Week one we have picks of already who may be on the hot seat of being fired or needing to be fired or replaced. So, who is your coaching. Who's in your coaching hot seat this week, Dave?
Well, I got the Chicago Bear theme going, so it's got to be Mr. Matt Eberflus. Who
Eberflus.
wants a
Flus.
who wants a coach with the name Eberflus? He
Eberflus.
sounds he sounds like Oktoberfest. I got to go grab my Eberflus.
Eberflus.
But yeah, I mean, just you're up. You're up 3 touchdowns in the third quarter. You desperately need a win against a bad Broncos team, and you can't do it. And it's just the offense. Now all the players are getting on the coaching staff, so you know that's a hot seat because there's offensive coordinators getting yelled at by players. There's players coming out in post game interviews saying, "Hey, what's wrong with the team? I think our coaching isn't very good." You know, um, so it's just they're a mess. They're a mess. They're going to. I mean, we're in the fourth game, and you already got players jumping off the ship. From the coaches and having problems already this fast in the season. You already got all these different sports shows talking about, Bears are going to have the number one pick and take the Heisman Trophy winner out of USC. I mean, we're like 4 games in and the season's over for them. They already have their number one draft pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anytime you're talking like that, you got to go from the top up. And so I don't think Eberflus is
Eberflus.
going to be around for very much longer to see that number one draft pick.
So I actually picked, again, sticking with the names you won't see much in the media for some of these categories. This guy's probably never been on someone's radar to be in a coaching hot seat, but I'm picking the coach of the 1-3 New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. And, they just have, I mean, they got spanked by the Dallas Cowboys, who, realistically got spanked by the Arizona Cardinals, who then lost, the week later to the 49ers. Bill Belichick just doesn't look like he has his team ready to play. I mean, he's got some players, but it's just not, it actually just may be time for Bill Belichick to retire. And, and start thinking about, a nice comfy retirement plan somewhere, because the Patriots don't look like they're going to be getting better anytime soon. And and again, a name you're never going to see. It's crazy, I know, but it's just a name no one's really saying, oh yeah, Bill Belichick is a horrible coach, should probably get fired. Not a horrible coach, but he is a part of the management plan of bringing players in and drafting. He's in that tight circle there, and so he has to be put at fault for either some of the talent they have there or the quality of talent that they have there. So yeah. Anyway, all right. So any last thoughts? Anything else you want to add about last week's games?
Not really. There was a lot of close ones. I mean, there was some better games. There was some, I don't know. I guess some upsets. I mean, the Texans beating the Steelers by that much. I'd say a lot of people say that was an upset there. So it's kind of getting competitive where we're seeing some teams branch out. There's only a few undefeated teams left in the league. I don't believe there's. I mean, I think already this early in the season we're gonna see some of the cream of the crop teams are already kind of showing up, like the Bills and the Chiefs and the 49ers and the Cowboys, who the 49ers Cowboys will get into a little bit later because they play each other this week, so that'll be good. But you can kind of see it going in. There's a lot of teams that were expected to be good that are playing pretty good so far at the start of the season.
Yeah, you're right. Some of the teams that we're looking at talking about this week are you look at some of the spreads, it's like, man, they should be the spread should be a lot larger, than what it is for the expectations that were there. So if you're new to us, you know the show, we do our picks against the spread every week, and we tally up those numbers each week and keep track of them. And I did this. Hang on one second. I need to move this back that way. Oh, what did I do? Can't see our video on here. I didn't set this up correctly. Let's try. Hold, please. There we go. Anywho, oh, there we is it. There we go. Now I think we can all say, there we go. We're back. All right. So this week, last week, Dave and I tied. We had a fantastic week of picking football games last week. We were 13-3. This week, we did not do so well. We were both actually 8-8. So we tied once again this week. The last 2 weeks, we've tied. I do have a win, 2 week win over to 0. I don't know how to say that there, but anyway, it's 2-0 and 2, I guess it would be. But yeah, so we were just 50% last week overall. Gosh, it's on my small screen. 38-26 wins for me. 35-29, 59% win percentage to 54. 8-9, 6-9. So it's still close. It's only 3 games separating us, really. And so you could totally take over the lead next week. And you've done it before. Usually towards the end of the season, you have a run at the end of the season, and I think I'd start taking some crazy picks. I get more emotional towards the end of the season. When we get closer to the end and closer to playoffs. But yeah, so so that's where we stand. We were both 8-8, so copycatting each other once again this week. All right, so let's talk a little bit Week 5 football. Let's get our picks in, and we'll start with, we were just talking about your hot seat coach. Tomorrow night, the Bears are going to go to Washington, visit the Commanders. Commanders are actually favored by 6.5 at home. That to me, if you told me at the beginning of the season that at any time in the season, Commanders are going to be favored by 6.5 or a touchdown, I'd say you're crazy. But here we are. Commanders are favored by 6.5. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I gotta take Washington. The Bears are just terrible. Washington's played pretty well this season. The quarterback's played pretty surprisingly well. Keeps the ball pretty well. They're at home. Um, they took the Eagles all the way to almost the end of overtime. So even though it's a touchdown and an extra point, I think the Commanders can do that the way the Bears are playing.
Yeah, and it looks like our fans are also agreeing with the Commanders. I'm actually taking the Commanders too until the Bears can show something, some life there. Uh, the Commanders have been playing, I think, pretty decent defense. I think, yeah, I think they can handle 6.5 points here, or win by a touchdown, and so I guess we're all on board with the Commanders at home. All right, Sunday. Getting to Sunday. First game of the day is once again Jags in London, but they actually have the Bills coming to visit them. Bills are actually the home team this week in London, and are favored by 5.5. To me, this is like I with what how the Bills performed last week. This was kind of a shock to me that it's only 5.5. Maybe they think there's going to be a lot of jet lag or something with. The Bills traveling. Jags have been there all week already practicing, so being comfortable, having a good time, and probably the Jaguars are going to become the first full-time London team, maybe. But so anyway, yeah, no, I'm easily going to take the Bills 5.5. This seems like an easy for me. It just seems like an easy pick to take the Bills here at 5.5.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars have been over the pond getting fat on biscuits and jam all week, and they're going to be a little, Bills will be a little jet lag sluggish. They'll be a little biscuit and jam sluggish, but the Bills are the better team. I gotta take the Bills too.
Yeah, that's yeah. I probably would have taken that at 8, even more than a touchdown. So yeah, we'll have to see. That's why they play the games, all right. How about the Texans and the Falcons? Texans are going down to Atlanta, and Falcons are struggling, but they're favored at home by 1.5 after a strong showing from the Texans last week. Falcons are not. I mean, they're not getting their 3 at home, their home field 3 points, but they are favored by 1.5 points at home. What do you think here?
I'm going to take your offensive player of the week from last week. I'm going to take the Texans on the road. I don't think the Texans are that bad. They've been in every game this year. If they haven't won it, they've been right in it. I don't see a lot of consistency from the Falcons. Um, I know they're at home, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. So I don't know. For some reason I'm feeling Texans on this one. I would probably even take the money line if I was in Vegas and say the Texans are going to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would take the Texans winning the game. Uh, if that were the spread, I would definitely take that. I think the Texans will win the game this week. Jim's on board with the Texans as well. So yeah, I'm taking the Texans absolutely on the road. Kim has just chimed in. She's taking the Texans. Everyone is a Houston fan this week, and we are all of them. All four of us are the Houston Texan fan base. All right. So we're on the record there. How about let's go with the Panthers and the Lions? Lions are actually favored at home by 9. Again, I'm been on this Lion bandwagon and what they're doing with the program there, getting stronger each year. I'm taking the line. I'm taking the Lions at home by 9. Just again, they just don't have players in Carolina, and uh, yeah, I'm definitely taking the Lions at home by 9. And I mean, what Dan Campbell's been doing there, I just like everything that's going on there right now.
Yeah, same here. I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to be all over Bryce Young. Panthers just don't have a lot. I mean, when you have Adam Thielen, who's basically doing everything for you, that's not a great sign for your offense. So, definitely going to take the Lions at home.
Now, I do need Adam Thielen to have a good day. Lose the game, but I need him to have a good day because week 5 I've got a lot of people in fantasy that of the bye. I got Herbert and Williams and Evans, and I got or yeah, Evans or no, is he hurt? Yeah. Anyway, I got people that I needed to replace, and so Adam Thielen is now in my starting lineup this week, and I'm up against you this week, you and I, and you got some work to do. I've already got a 65% chance of winning. Um, all right, so where are we at? Yes, we're both on board with the Lions. All right, moving right on down. This is a tough one for me. Titans going to Indy to play the Colts. Colts are favored home by one lonely point. And yeah, who do you got here?
This was a tough one, and I'm not surprised it was such a close spread. You got the rookie quarterback in Indianapolis who's playing okay, and then you have the Titans, which you don't know who's going to show up week to week for that team. They're just so inconsistent. Um, I think I don't know. I'm going to take the Titans on the road. I think I'm just going to take the Titans on the road. Maybe Derrick Henry can keep the ball in possession long enough. They can win this game 12-9, something like that. I don't know. I don't see this being a very entertaining game on offense, really. But I'm gonna take the Titans. I think so.
Okay.
Upset on the road.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm actually gonna take the Colts at home and to to not lose the game, basically.
Yeah,
um, Yeah, no, I'm taking the Colts at home. I mean, I just think Zach Moss has got a good year going, and he's also a starting running back for me, so I need them to do really well. And no, I think the Colts, they have a lot of problems and a lot of holes, and I think the Titans will exploit them. But I really don't like the Titans, so I'm taking the Colts at home by 1. So at least that's the first game we've differed on. So at least we have a chance of just not tying again this coming week. So, all right, here's going to be a fun one for one team. The Giants are going down to Miami. Play Tua. I had to put Tua in for Herbert this week, so I got two great quarterbacks. I'm not in fantasy. This is not. This has been great for me this year. But yeah, so the Dolphins are favored at home by 10.5 over the Giants. That's a big spread, and I'm absolutely taking that spread down there in warm country in Florida there. So warm and humid. So yeah, no, I'm taking the Dolphins at home.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they could win 14-3 because I don't see the Giants scoring any points. Daniel Jones just isn't great. That offense doesn't move the ball real well, and the Dolphins can score 40. So I don't see the Giants being able to keep up scoring wise with the Dolphins. It's a big spread, but I feel Dolphins could handle that spread.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be a fun game to watch. I mean, if you're especially if you like if you're if you're a Dolphins fan, it should be a fun game to watch them, you know, dump a lot of points. And I mean, and I think this week it got a little tougher for the Giants. I mean, you saw the coach on the sideline talking with Daniel Jones and tossing the iPad next to him, and kind of made a public display of it. I know a lot of people don't like that. Take care of your business in the locker room, but um, the coach wants to win, and $160 million guy, is that what I think his salary is, something like that. Uh, that's I'd be a little pissed too if I was the coach, but he's yeah, has a crappy crappy O line, and it's not all on him. But when you put your money, and a lot of people say that it's not all on one player, which it absolutely is not. But when you're dumping a crap ton of money, then into one player, then you expect more than mediocrity out of that player, and you're paying money to make up for the fact that you don't have a good O line, for the decision making. I mean, it's the simple things like what Aaron Rodgers has done throughout his career. He hasn't always had the best line. He knows where his players are at all times, and he knows how to move and how to get the ball to a place where someone is at without even thinking. I mean, it's intrinsic. It's part of his subconscious, and that's what you're paying for in players, to be able to outplay, um, your own weaknesses. So, if I was a coach, I think with Daniel Jones, that's where I would be. Just you gotta you, yeah, we're bad in other places. You have to overcome it because we're paying you a crap ton of money. Sorry. So anyway, off my soapbox. All right, where are we on to? Oh, the Saints and my coaching hot seat Patriots. Patriots are at home this week, and they're not getting. I mean, yeah, point and a half is not. It's not a lot of faith in the home team right there with Vegas. So, uh, yeah, who you got here?
I want to take the Saints. Patriots don't look good. They're also bringing in Zappy to play quarterback. They're benching Mac Jones this week, and um, Cameron Jordan's good pass rusher. The Saints defense isn't terrible. I just think you have a new quarterback already in week 5. That's a lot. That's a lot for a team to handle right off the bat early in the season. That's not already playing good. So I think the Saints can come in and maybe sneak one. They could sneak a steal, road victory because of that this week.
Okay, and so if we check in with our faithful fans here, Kim has got the Saints, and so does Jim. So it looks like that's going to be 3-1, because I think that Bill Belichick is going to pull out this win this week, and I think he knows what's on the line, and I think maybe he's in a spot where, hey, I'm gonna bench Mac Jones. I am gonna do something different and see if we can't spark something. And the Saints are also with their backup still, correct? No Carr, or no? Uh, they're still playing
Carson.
Jameis. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, I'm taking the Patriots at home. Cool. Alrighty, on down to the Ravens are hitting the road, going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got beat up pretty good, but the Texans last week. But the Ravens are favored on the road, and yeah, I have no problem taking the Ravens on the road in Pittsburgh to win this game by 3.5 or more.
Yeah, I also have the Ravens. You saw Lamar Jackson last week have 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Look more like Lamar Jackson's looked like Lamar Jackson in a while. So that bodes well for the Ravens. So I'll definitely take Baltimore.
And it's still the Baltimore is really still underperforming based on where they should be, or where the expectations of this team, and they still have a lot of holes, and they should be, I mean, they should be performing better, and this spread should be a lot bigger based on how how Pittsburgh has been performing. Alrighty, so Eagles Rams. This will be a good game this Sunday. So Eagles are going over to the West Coast to SoFi Stadium and to hopefully beat up on the Rams. And it's tough for me. Uh, yeah, who you got here? I think it's your pick first on this one.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one. The Rams, like, they don't. It doesn't seem like they should be playing as well as they are, but they're not playing bad. They're winning a game here and there. They're in games, but they're not doing anything fancy. It's a tough one. And then I thought the Eagles would be a lot better, but they're in a lot of close games already this year. I mean, they're winning, but all of them are close. Um, and it's a tough one. I'm going to take the Eagles though. I take the Eagles on the road. Yeah, I just don't know how much Stafford can keep throwing these quick passes to a new young receiver. They should have Cooper Cup back maybe this week, and he's been hitting tight Higby a little bit, but gonna take the Eagles though. I'm gonna take the Eagles.
Yeah, Jim and Kim are on board with the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles. I think because I picked. I think I might. No, I think I picked. Uh, Chargers go to the Super Bowl. Either the Eagles or the Chargers. I think it's the Chargers. But I'm picking the Eagles to. I picked the Eagles to go deep in the playoffs, so they need to continue their winning streak and make it 5-0, 5-0. So yeah, taking the Eagles on the road should be a good game still to watch. It'll be a fun game to watch. Definitely looking forward to this one. So the Bengals are coming here for my hometown now, your hometown now, to State Farm Stadium, and going to be playing my Arizona Cardinals. And I have family coming in this week. This was one of my game weekends, and I'm not going to make the game, but I'll be here with family anyway, which is always fun. And so yeah, so the Bengals are actually this was one I kind of mentioned earlier about some teams that just don't have the spread that they should against the teams they're playing. And you would think the Bengals coming in with preseason expectations, right? All we have this tough stretch of games and where we had the Cowboys, right? We beat the Cowboys. Of course, we didn't beat, we got beat up by the 49ers. Then we turned right around and have to play the Bengals. I mean, Cardinals have a tough season. But the Bengals coming in and only being favored by 3 is, should be an embarrassment to them, which either should get them riled up to play aggressive. But you know what? I'm with Jim, and I am also with, gosh, that took a long time to come up. I think I tapped on it both. I'm with Jim and Kim. Taking the Cardinals. Taking the Cardinals. The Bengals just haven't been playing strong ball. Definitely not as good as the Cowboys. I thought the Cardinals showed some stuff against the 49ers, and they can play some football, and their defense is actually pretty damn good. And so, yeah, taking the Cardinals here at home to not lose by 3.
I'm going to take the Bengals just to be different and try to pick up a game here because I think it's a pretty even matchup, really, though. I do like the Cardinals' defense. I like the pressure they get on quarterbacks. They do fly around, they make tackles. I do like the defense. I'm still not sold on Dobbs much and consistency with Connor and things like that, but Bengals maybe playing a little bit better. That Burrows to Jamar Chase looked a little bit better last week. And I need to pick up a game here, so it's close enough spread. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals actually win this game at home the way they've been playing, especially their defense.
Yeah, I mean they're both 1-3 teams, so coming into this week, and I think if the Bengals lose, um, that coach is probably going to be on my hot seat next week, and you know you still have a majority of your players, your star players, and if you end up 1-4, that's not a good look. Your season's pretty much over. I mean, statistically, it's a very difficult road to make the playoffs statistically. Alrighty, Jets Broncos. This will be a barn burner. Um, it's this is a this is gonna be a ridiculous game. Broncos are at home. Uh, yeah, this is. You got to think that the Jets are gonna come out of their shell and play some actual football, and but they're not. I have more faith in Russell Wilson, which I have zero faith in Russell Wilson in Denver. But I have more faith in Russell Wilson than I do Zach Wilson, and so for that reason, I'm going to take the Broncos at home by 1.5 points.
I'm going to take the Jets based upon the Jets defense. They have a great cornerback in Sauce Gardner that takes about half of the field away. They take out your number one receiver, which the Broncos don't really have one anyway. They they get good pressure on quarterbacks, and I know Russell's been sacked a ton already this season or been hurried a ton, so I don't think he's going to have a lot of time. And hopefully, they can get Zach Wilson to throw enough short passes, intermediate routes, quick things. They can run the ball a little bit, enough to win by. It's only 1.5, so they kick a field goal. They win by, you know, even if they're down, they kick a field goal and they can win it. So I'm gonna take the Jets.
Okay, and so we got a few games that we're differing this week. So still on Sunday, we've got the Chiefs and the Vikings. Chiefs are on the road going to Minnesota to play at US Bank Stadium, and Chiefs are favored on the road by 5.5 points. Who you got here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I mean, it's a touchdown. The Vikings aren't playing good ball. They barely came back and beat a bad team last week that they should have handled. They don't have it together really, and the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. And so, as long as Travis Kelsey's healthy, Taylor Swift is there, Mahomes is healthy, Taylor Swift is there. Um, the defense can do a little bit against Jefferson and the Vikings. I think they're fine, so I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, that's it's just too hard to as poorly as the Vikings have played, which I'm not surprised. I've already been on here saying that keeping Cousins around was not a smart decision. You might as well just rebuild at some point. But I also thought at the beginning of the season, that the Chiefs didn't have a receiving core, and how is Patrick Mahomes who's he gonna throw to? And um, he's been throwing to guys still. I mean, and Travis was out that first game, and they struggled, and I'm taking the Chiefs. Yeah, yeah, definitely taking the Chiefs. I don't know how they're doing it. It must be Andy Reid, his coaching. Um, but no, it's they got some talented players. But yeah, I mean, with the receiving core, they don't have a high caliber, or star receiver like they did when they had Tyreek Hill and on the team. So and they're still doing it. So good for them. But yeah, I will definitely take the Vikings to win on the road by 5.5. All right, so only a couple of games left. This one will be a fun one. Sunday night. Sunday night. The Cowboys. Cowboys are going to San Francisco to visit your San Francisco 49ers. And 49ers are favored at home. Not by much, but still more than it's that half point is more than that home field advantage. 49ers 3.5. I have to take the 49ers here. And I just think that, honestly, I think 49ers defense will have a good night. I just have a feeling the 49ers defense will have a good night. Not a lot is spoken about the 49ers defense, but I just think that, I think this will be a wake-up call for the Cowboys. And, even though they got over their hangover from losing the Cardinals and won last week handily, I think that, the 49ers are going to win this game at home by at least 3.5.
Yeah, we got that. Beat them in the NFC playoffs last year. I think we're even stronger this year at this point. Purdy's putting it all together. He's making the right little hot reads and little passes, and McCaffrey's been amazing so far this season. I mean, he had 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown last week against your Cardinals. He had like 178 total yards from scrimmage, rushing and receiving. We're not even using a lot of our other offensive weapons. I mean, Ayuk gets a little bit here and there. Debo gets a little bit, but it's been mainly the McCaffrey show all game, every game. And we haven't even really had to use the rest of our talent. So, you'll never hear me say Cowboys when they're against the 49ers. I don't care if this spread was 30. I'm never picking the Cowboys for anything. So, definitely, I like that Kim is deciding to not pick against her son's Cowboys or my 49ers. I'm sure that's where she's lying there. She doesn't want to pick her son's a Cowboy fan. But we'll just put her on the 49ers side.
Yeah. You're a 49ers fan this week, Kim. Sorry for a second there. I don't know if you noticed. I actually took myself out of the studio altogether.
Briefly.
That was fun. All right, so last game on the docket for the week, Monday night, Packers Raiders. I'm gonna sleep through, go to bed early. Packers are on the road, going to Las Vegas. That'll probably be the highlight of this week for them, is just going to Vegas. I have no idea who's going to win this game. I'm like Kim. I don't want to pick this game because I don't think either team can win this game. But actually, is Jimmy playing? Or is he here? Yeah, I'll take the Raiders then. Jimmy G, I'll take the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm take the Raiders at home too, even though they're underdog. I mean, they still have Josh Jacobs. They got Devontae Adams. Jimmy G does enough just to get the ball around to who he needs to get the ball around to. Packers still pretty inconsistent. New quarterback. He's playing pretty well, but he's on the road and he's going to have Max Crosby in his face, which isn't going to be fun for him. So I'm going Raiders also. The Raiders.
I need to get some of those sound effects of the football sound effects to add to the library. All right, so that's all of our picks for the week. And so what game are you looking forward to watching this week?
Well, that's an easy one for me. Got Cowboy-Niner game on Sunday night. Probably be watching it at your house. Is that what we're doing Sunday? We're going to be over there, aren't we?
Yeah, family, Oregon's coming down, and we have a lot of family here Sunday. So got a brisket that I'm going to smoke for 20 hours. And we'll all be here. For me, that game definitely. But I actually also want to watch. I'm looking forward to the Eagles-Rams game. And hard or go home. And But I think Jim's with you on that, um, and Jim is just I think happy about the brisket. Yum.
Hmm.
So, yeah, no, it's going to be a good football weekend. But yeah, I'm kind of actually looking forward to also to watching the Eagles Rams just to see. I think that Rams have a pretty good defense, so I just want to see how good the Eagles can actually play against it. I think Stafford is going to struggle just because I'm not a Stafford fan. And I'm just going to say that he's going to struggle. But Joy's looking forward to, I think, the Cowboy 49ers game. We could watch it together. And yeah, we could just do a watch party and watch the game together. So yeah, no, that's definitely. I think everyone probably, if you're looking at the schedule, is you're gonna the check mark this game, and just because it's gonna be the absolute perfect litmus test, just to see where teams are, almost a third of the way through the season. All right. So, any last thoughts for the week, Dave?
I don't know. I'm just nervous, man. I got to get to that 49er game. That's a big game. Like I said, it was, big time NFC playoff game last year. So hopefully 49ers get the same result and come out. I'm real happy we get that game at home. So I'm happy about that because we win that game at home. That'll be great for the fans and everyone that paid for their ticket and showed up and attended that. So that'd be a big win since that's a rivalry team for us.
Yeah, and before we go, if you help us out to get more viewers, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. And again, next week I think I'm going to try out Rumble. They have a sports channel on there that we can live stream to. So share our broadcast, share our channel Sports and Drafts on Facebook or Football and Beer, and so just help us get the word out there. And yeah, thank you to our beer choices this weekend. Go ahead and name yours again, Dave.
Distill Peach Wheat out of Illinois.
So I have Paperback Brewing out of Glendale, California, not where I live, in Arizona, and it is Bunny. Bunny, where's the bunny? Where's the guy? I got to turn it the right way here.
There you go.
A cute little bunny with a chainsaw. So yeah, so it's a double dry hop IPA, Bunny with a chainsaw, celebrating a little bit of Halloween early and getting on with that. So yeah, so all right, Dave. Well, good to see you, man. And yeah, I guess we'll see you and everyone else back here next Wednesday, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And on Football Beer. That's why we're here. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you.